November 2022, Jackson, Mississippi. A young woman named Ashley sits on her own porch, talking on the phone. She's not committing a crime. She's not under investigation. She doesn't know that across town, a police officer is watching her in real time through her neighbor's doorbell. The doorbell is a Ring. The company that makes it is Amazon. And what's happening right now in Jackson is happening in over 2,000 cities across America. Here's what Ashley doesn't know. Amazon has built the largest private surveillance network in human history. More than 10 million Ring cameras point outward from American homes. Every one of them is a potential police surveillance device. And Amazon never asks the people being recorded for permission. This isn't speculation. This is court documents, internal memos, and Amazon's own admissions. In 2022, Amazon confessed that they handed footage to police at least 11 times without user consent, without a warrant, without even notifying the Ring owner. They called it emergency circumstances. The police defined what counted as an emergency. But Ring cameras are just the beginning. Inside those same homes sit 200 million Alexa devices. In 2019, Bloomberg revealed that Amazon employs thousands of workers around the world to listen to voice recordings from Alexa users. Recordings of children, recordings of couples fighting, recordings of medical conversations. And here's the part Amazon really doesn't want you to understand. In 2021, they connected all of it. Ring, Alexa, Echo, even tile trackers. Amazon quietly linked millions of devices into a mesh network called Sidewalk. It blankets neighborhoods, it tracks movement. And unless you specifically found the hidden setting and opted out, your devices are part of it right now. One company, one network, watching 40 million American homes. This isn't a glitch. This isn't an accident. This is a business model that generates over $30 billion annually. And it was designed this way from the start. If you think your smart home works for you, Amazon has a different idea. How did a company selling books become the most powerful surveillance operation ever built by a private corporation? To understand that, we need to go back to a garage in Santa Monica and a man who thought he was building something to protect people. Santa Monica, California. Jamie Siminoff is working out of his garage, frustrated by a simple problem. He keeps missing deliveries because he can't hear his doorbell. His solution is a Wi-Fi connected doorbell with a camera. He calls it Doorbot. It seems innocent. It seems helpful. He pitches it on Shark Tank. Every shark passes. But someone else is watching. By 2018, Doorbot has been renamed Ring, and it's moving 1 million units a year. That's when Jeff Bezos writes a check for $1 billion, Amazon's second largest acquisition ever. Wall Street. Analysts are confused. Why would the world's biggest e-commerce company pay that much for a doorbell? Because Jeff Bezos didn't buy a doorbell. He bought a surveillance infrastructure that homeowners would pay to install themselves. Within months of the acquisition, Amazon launched something called the Neighbors Public Safety Service. The pitch to police departments was simple: free access to a portal where they could request Ring footage from any user in their jurisdiction. No warrant needed, just click a button. By 2021, over 2,000 police departments had signed up. Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, small towns you've never heard of. Amazon provided the software. Amazon trained the officers. Amazon even gave some departments free Ring cameras to distribute to residents. The residents thought they were getting home security. They were actually joining a police surveillance network. And they didn't read the terms of service that made it legal. Here's what those terms actually say. Amazon can share your footage with law enforcement without your knowledge if they determine there's an imminent threat. Amazon defines the threat. Amazon decides what's imminent. You find out never. Senator Ed Markey sent Amazon a letter asking how many times they'd done this. Amazon's response: they don't keep count, but cameras outside your home are one thing. What Amazon built inside is something else entirely. If you're watching this right now and you have an Alexa device in your home, what I'm about to tell you might make you unplug it. Because Ring was never the real product. Ring was the perimeter. The real surveillance happens when you walk through your own front door. April 2019, a Bloomberg investigation drops a bombshell that Amazon has tried to keep quiet for years. Thousands of Amazon employees around the world are listening to Alexa recordings, not AI. Humans. Workers in Boston, Costa Rica, India, and Romania sit in offices, headphones on, transcribing what Alexa users say in their homes. Amazon calls them annotators. Their job is supposedly to improve Alexa's voice recognition. But here's what they actually hear. One worker told Bloomberg they listened to a woman singing in the shower. Another described hearing what sounded like a sexual assault and was told by supervisors that it wasn't Amazon's job to interfere. Workers shared particularly funny or disturbing clips in internal chat rooms. They listened to children talking to Alexa, medical conversations, domestic arguments, financial details. And Amazon's response? They didn't deny it. They said users could opt out of human review in their settings. The setting was buried 6 menus deep. The average user had no idea it existed. The average user had no idea they needed to opt out of humans listening to them in their own home. But the listening wasn't even the worst part. Here's what most people still don't know. Alexa records more than you think and stores it longer than you'd ever agree to. In 2019, Senator Chris Coons asked Amazon how long they keep voice recordings. Amazon admitted indefinitely. Even if you delete a recording from your app, Amazon keeps the text transcript forever. They claimed they needed it to improve services. Then came the children. In 2023, they used kids' data to train algorithms, and they kept geolocation data that tracked where those children were. $25 million to a company worth $1.5 trillion. That's not a fine. That's a licensing fee. But what Amazon built next makes Ring and Alexa look like practice runs. In June 2021, while everyone was distracted by the pandemic, Amazon flipped a switch that connected everything, and almost nobody noticed. June 8, 2021. Amazon activates Sidewalk. No press conference. No announcement. Just a firmware update pushed to millions of devices overnight. Here's what Sidewalk does. It takes every Ring camera, every Echo device, and every Amazon smart home product and links them into a neighborhood-wide mesh network. Your devices share bandwidth with your neighbors' devices. Your neighbors' devices share with theirs. The result is a wireless network that covers entire neighborhoods, a network that tracks Bluetooth signals, a network that knows when devices and the people carrying them move through the area. Amazon says Sidewalk helps you find lost dogs and keeps devices connected. They don't emphasize is what it creates. A private location tracking infrastructure that blankets residential America. And you are enrolled automatically in the Ring app, under account, under Control Center, labeled Sidewalk. You're part of it right now. Your neighbors, devices, your movement patterns are being logged. Investigation revealed that Amazon's Sidewalk network had grown to cover most suburban neighborhoods in major metro areas. One company, one network, entire cities. But here's what connects all of this. Ring. Alexa, not separate products. They're layers of the same system. Watches who approaches your home. Your Alexa listens to what happens inside. Sidewalk tracks movement in between. And all of it feeds into servers where Amazon and whoever Amazon partners with can access the data. Police request Ring footage. Amazon workers transcribe Alexa recordings. Sidewalk logs Bluetooth devices walking past your house. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the business model Amazon described in its own patents, filed with the U.S. Patent Office, publicly. Available for anyone to read. Patent 10.068.076, using voice recognition to identify emotional states and target advertising. Patent 10.373.506, a surveillance network using audio and video to monitor neighborhoods. Patent 10.506.264, using biometric data, voice prints, to identify individuals across devices. Amazon didn't hide this, they patented it. So where does this leave you? Right now, as you watch this, there are over 20 million Amazon surveillance devices pointing at American streets and listening inside American homes. Amazon knows more about what happens in residential neighborhoods than any police department, any government agency, any organization in history. They built it in under a decade, they got customers to pay for it, and they wrote terms of service that make almost all of it legal. Jamie Siminoff, the guy who missed his deliveries, is still the CEO of Ring. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He still gives interviews about how Ring makes neighborhoods safer. But safer for whom? In 2020, a black man in Brooklyn sued Amazon after police used Ring footage to wrongly identify him as a package thief. He lost his job before the mistake was discovered. In 2023, a domestic violence survivor discovered her abuser was accessing Ring footage of her new home through a shared Amazon account she didn't know existed. And the police partnerships, they're growing. Despite public backlash, the number of departments with Ring access increased 30% between 2021 and 2023. Amazon's response to criticism has been consistent. Better privacy settings, buried deeper in more menus. Opt-outs that require you to know they exist. Promises of transparency contradicted by their own internal documents. Changed the business model. Surveillance is profitable. Your data is the product. And unless something forces them to stop, Amazon will keep building. Question isn't whether Amazon is watching. They are. We're going to do anything about it before the last camera goes up. You can start by sharing this video with someone who doesn't know. Hit subscribe so you catch what comes next, because this is part of a bigger story about who's really watching and why. Comment. Do you have Ring or Alexa? Did you know about Sidewalk? And if you want to see how the other side of this works, how hackers have turned surveillance systems against the people who built them, watch our video on the hackers who breached Amazon's own servers. Because sometimes the people watching get watched back.